Bid opening.
I'm sorry, since my favorite bid reader is not here, he likes to fumble through the pages. I'm going to get John Collins from AFCON. John knows exactly the bid. They'll put it together. He'll be able to read off the numbers to you, and I'll be the one that hands it to him. John? You can explain exactly what the bid is for before we open it.
Yes. This bid is for the Access Road Improvement Project at the Apalachicola Regional Airport. It's a section of road that really allows airport users to access the T-hangars without having to use the apron, the aircraft apron to get to it. There have been complaints in the past about FOD, little pieces of metal or plastic on the apron, and that's for people going back and forth hauling materials to and from their hangars. Those keep all the operations off the apron and keep airplanes where they should be and keep cars where they should be. And it appears we have 4 bids today.
Are these multiple copies? Did you guys request one?
Yes, I think
Okay.
3 copies total, so I'll keep
All right.
1, I'll leave 2 with you.
Okay. You do? And you all have your tab sheets? All right, here we go.
Yes, sir.
So the first one I just handed you is CWR.
Okay. Yes, the first bid was submitted by C.W. Roberts Contracting Incorporated. And the base bid amount is $1,150,872. That's 1,150,872.
And C.W.
Oh,
Roberts.
I'm sorry,
And C.W. Roberts from Tallahassee, Florida.
Yes.
And
And the, sorry, there's alternate number 1, and that amount is $543,572. 543,572. Yes,
Bid bond.
there is a bid bond required, and there's also payment and performance bonds required for construction.
And is it included?
Yes. I'm sorry. Oh, the question is the bid bond included?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry.
what I want to make sure.
Yes, the bid bond is included.
There you go.
The second bid is submitted by Piggott Asphalt and Site Work, LLC. Piggott, I'm sorry, P-I-G-O-T-T, Piggott Asphalt and Site Work. Check.
Crawfordville, Florida.
The base bid amount is $1,340,262.0. 1,340,262. And the alternate amount is $685,955. That's 685,955. And I'll check to see if the bid form. Yes, the bid bond was submitted. The third bid was submitted by Roberts and Roberts Incorporated.
2 offices, one in Tallahassee, one in Panama City.
The base bid amount is $1,051,319.50. 1,051,319.50. The alternate amount is $607,076.25. 607,076.25. And they did submit the bid bond.
This final one. Fourth and
The
final.
last fourth and final bid is submitted by North Florida Construction. The base bid amount is $1,162,870. 162,870 even. The alternate number 1 amount is $579,641. It's 579,641 even. And the bid bond was submitted.
Where were they from, Michael?
Oh, I'm sorry, that was
Florida.
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee.
I'll find their address. Clarksville, Florida.
Clarksville.
Yep, Clarksville.
Yes, sir.
All right, John, so
So-
who will be the review committee? Is it you and is it staff? Because we need to say that on the record. Who's going to review the bids?
I will review, AvCon will review the submitted bids and will provide a formal recommendation of award to the county. I could submit it to yourself, Alan, Mike, Jason, if you wanted to review it.
No, just AvCon review will be good.
No, I think it's sufficient just to have the engineer review. I wanted Mr. Morone, if there was going to be a committee of individuals, that we get their names on the record, but if the recommendation is to have the airport engineer do the review and then come back with a recommendation, then that's perfectly acceptable.
I make a motion that we turn the bid over to the airport engineer, come back to the county board with a recommendation, and make
Sir.
sure all these bids are in compliance of the project.
Second.
And whether or not the funding available will allow alternate 1, if not, then we'll do the base bid. I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, a second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
John?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman. John, what does alternative 1 mean?
Alternative 1, the bid documents were set up. There's east portion of the road, which is really the main piece that provides the access behind the T-hangars. Alternate 1 was actually really on the west side of the airport, and we wanted to maximize the use of the FDOT funding. So if there's anything left over, we wanted to be able to use that on the west side to start. Ultimately, we want to be able to connect the main part of the airport with Highway 98 without having to go through the neighborhoods like you have to do now. It's difficult to get large trucks to the airport. So alternate 1 was to help kind of a long-term, if we had extra money, we could construct an additional section of the road on the west side to help connect that in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Marcia Johnson?
I don't have a report this morning, but Aaron, finance clerk, has a small report on the budget estimate.
Okay.
Good faith estimate.
Yeah, we did receive the good faith estimate from the property appraiser's office. Her estimate of the taxable value for this upcoming budget year will be $1,925,000,000. As far as our taxable value, that's an increase of 1.84% over the taxable value that we used for this current budget year we're operating in. And it's a little too early to have any of the other numbers right now, but that's what we know so far.
That's very hopeful.
It is.
Alan Pierce, he's gonna do that one. He's no one? Okay, no report. Mr. Michael Morone, County Coordinator.
Long today, I'm about to put some brakes on that. All right, Commissioners. Okay, first let me state that the chairman is out at a medical procedure. He's just not playing hooky. He's actually at a medical procedure. He could not get rescheduled. So just want to let everyone know that. All right, so we took care of items 1 and 2 already. Let's get to item 3. At the last meeting, I was directed to contact FDOT regarding Highway 98 road repair construction project. The following is a response I received from Mr. Carter Johnson, FDOT's District 3 Government Affairs Liaison. The contractor, Anderson Columbia, has completed approximately 75% of the project work items as of May 30th. Work began in December 2018 and was awarded $8.9 million, and scheduled, I have to count my zeros there, scheduled for 290 days for this 22-mile section in Franklin County. The contractor operation started with temporary repairs of the existing roadway using milled asphalt material to fill roadway washouts. The primary focus for the first few months was to stabilize the roadway front slopes, which in some cases were completely washed out due to Hurricane Michael. This work consisted of placing articulate concrete block mats, bank and shore riprap material, and large quantities of fill material to reinforce, protect the roadway for future storm events while maintaining the existing roadway. We are near completion of the reinforcement work and will soon be completing permanent roadway reconstruction on the few remaining areas. ACB mats and reinforcement are scheduled to be completed by June 14th. The final roadway repairs in areas of reinforcement work cannot be completed until the ACB mats are placed due to equipment and used. Installing the mats will damage the pavement. Didn't read that correctly. The final surface of pavement or friction course will be placed on all remaining areas immediately after the reinforcement work is completed by the end of June. This will correct the uneven pavement or dips in the roadway. Contractor is on schedule to complete the project by August 8th this year. Items to be completed after June 30th include guardrail installation, grassing, signs, and pavement markings. These items should require very few, if any, lane closures or disruptions to traffic. Now, if anybody's going to ask me what the articulating concrete block mats are, I am going to call Mr. Clay Kennedy from Dewberry to come out up to the mic and explain those. He'd do a way better job than I could. I can point to it, but I can't explain it. You have any questions about that? Should I call Clay up here? Y'all have any questions about the material, what's being done on the shoulder? No, no questions. Clay, you're safe. Cool. Any other questions about item number 3?
This is just a good summary of the history we've seen in the last 6 months.
Yes.
To understand why there's different irregularities.
So basically, they're showing up the size before they can do the paving.
Yep.
I mean, and, you know, if they pave first, they will damage the pavement that they do, and they're not going to pave twice. Let's just say what it is. So, you know, they leave the road in the bumpy way that it is until they finish shoring up the road, and then they do the paving.
And then we have reinforcing that they're going to come in with signage and guardrails on the right-of-ways after all that's finished as a standard, and that's good.
That's what they say, sir.
I'm very hopeful that we are also getting signage right there at that Seahawk Lane and 98.
Yes. And if we don't, I guess that's something the county will have to look into,
Okay.
doing it ourselves. So we're good with the response? As good as you can be? I see, I'm here watching your expressions, I'm sorry. All right.
I've been telling everybody they should be through by October.
Yeah,
So
And
you're ahead of schedule
Yeah.
according to what they're saying.
We'll see, we'll see.
let's see. All right. Item number 4, Mr. Pierce at the last meeting requested and received board action to authorize a $35,000 payment to MF Tallahassee for paving Alligator Drive. Mr. Pierce failed to include the $1,595 cost to stripe the road. So the total cost of the project is $36,595, which will be paid from Commissioner Bolt's share of the paving funds. MF Tallahassee also paved the 200 feet of Alligator Drive down by the fire station that was damaged due to Hurricane Michael, which means the county got a good deal on the price. Board action to authorize the $1,600 payment to MF Tallahassee for striping Alligator Drive.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Sir. Item 5, board action to approve $11,000 from professional services for Langton Consultants to assist Mr. Pierce in improving the TRAMP application for the fuel farm. Mr. Pierce stated that the special services are required in order to document the economic impact that the $1.04 million of TRAMP funds will have at our airport and the creation of jobs. There are adequate funds in professional services for this fee.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
A few weeks ago, Commissioners, Mr. Pierce and I met with Ms. Portia Sapp, Director of Division of Aquaculture, along with others in the seafood industry, to discuss oyster aquaculture full water column lease areas and the application process for Apalachicola Bay. There was much discussion, debate, information, and comments presented at this meeting. Based on all that was said, Ms. Sapp sent an email, which is attached, that contains application and procedure information for Skipper Bay in Wakulla County and Alligator Harbor in Franklin County. Attached to her email is the draft application process that she sent for your review and comments. At your earliest opportunity, send me your comments, which will then be forwarded to Ms. Sapp for final draft That draft will be presented to what they call the committee, the governor and his
Board of Trustees.
Board of Trustees, thank you, sir, for approval. Board action.
Good.
Board discussion, I'm sorry, action. I don't need action, I just need you guys to send me your comments as soon as you can so I can forward it to the agency. All right, let's do some community action agency work here. There are 3 requests from community action that requires board action. Each request is different in nature, so separate motions may be necessary. There is a Lime Rock fire survivor who was renting during the time of the fire and is now living in one of community action travel camper trailers. After an extensive search for permanent housing with the assistance of community action staff, this gentleman has submitted an application to Carabel Cove Apartments. His application has been accepted, and there will be an available apartment in 2 weeks. Community Action would like authority to use $489 of the Fire Relief Fund to assist the survivor with moving expenses. This would relieve Community Action from any further assistance for this survivor. He does not want a permanent trailer. He doesn't want a camper. He just wants some help to move into this apartment. He's going to pay his own rent.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Angela's out there. Yes, she is. If I go wrong, you stop me right away. The second item, Community Action received notification that one of the travel camper trailers was unlawfully removed from the approved property. How's that for not saying stealing? With the combined efforts of Community Action staff, the Sheriff Department, and a witness, the travel camper trailer was recovered. Community Action is requesting a $700 payment from the Fire Relief Fund for a replacement battery, an electrical cord, and some other minor repairs.
So moved.
That was made while it was illegally, unlawfully removed from the property.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Commissioner, there is a police report that I meant to send to you, and I will, of what happened. And
Look, why are you discussing that? So these people took this camper that was given to them to allow them to live in until they could get some permanent housing. They took the trailer and moved it somewhere else.
Or they're saying somebody else took the trailer.
Somebody else took the trailer. You living in this trailer and somebody else took the trailer? Now how's that?
Well,
Well, I mean, I know it's a trailer, but
apparently,
that's not normal.
no, it's not. So it didn't seem like he was actually living there, and so it was set to be picked up and put back out there by the Sheriff's Department. But there was another camper blocking it, and I'm trying to remember from the police report. But before they can get the contractor to come and pick it up and move it, someone felt it was somebody else that was
Abandoned.
homeless, so it was their responsibility to come and move it and put it on a new lot without anybody else knowing.
Go ahead, Mike.
Am I close, Angela? Yeah, I guess we already opened that door, so.
Now you report.
Yeah, buddy.
Angela Webster,
Can
Capital
we
Area
make sure we don't
Community
mention
Action
any names?
Agency.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep away from name and
No
addresses
names.
as best as I can.
Okay. The camper trailer was given to one of our survivors. The survivor never had his water connected and his power connected, so we were gonna move the camper. But he had a second RV put on the lot, which was blocking us from being able to get it. Well, in the processes of us waiting for him to have that one removed, as he told us he would, I received a phone call from the Sheriff's Department that they suspected some illegal activity going on and that the camper had been removed. Went out there to take a look, and it had been removed. We had someone stop by our office the same week looking for some services, and when they stopped by and was looking for the services, they overheard us speaking about the missing trailer, told us a place where they thought it might be. I rode out, called the Sheriff's Department, they went out, matched the VIN numbers, and it was the missing camper.
We'll let it go from there.
Anybody here old enough for Perry Mason? That's a typical Perry Mason. Thank you, Angela. The third item from Community Action, Community Action became aware of 2 gentlemen that are homeless due to Hurricane Michael. One of these gentlemen is living in a tent, Commissioners, believe it or not, in this heat, and then with all that rain on Saturday, and the other is temporary with family, but they both own their own property. Should have worded that better. Both are waiting for FEMA or other assistance for permanent housing. Community Action would like to offer each of these gentlemen a camper travel trailer for at least 6 months to a year. The county would need to authorize temporary power that would be for this specific purpose. They will sign an affidavit to the specific purpose and would expire within the same lease time frame. So when they lose a lease for the camper, they lose they lose that temporary power. Board action to authorize temporary power contingent on community action authorizing the lease for these 2 Hurricane Michael survivors. With this approval, you're also authorizing community action to pay for the transport and setup fees of the campers.
Mr. Chairman, just some conditions that, depending on how the board goes, but I think you should get into the record that this is a truly an emergency situation. It's their only place for housing. We need to make sure this is distinct from these other people that come to the county and say they want temporary power for a travel trailer. And I will work with Mr. Morone on trying to draft the document so that we accomplish that goal and we can distinguish these 2 unique circumstances from those people who do not share those same circumstances.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
One of these individuals is in my area, and I know for a fact that his house was destroyed in the storm. And this other guy, I think, is from the community of East Point.
Yep.
I thought it was.
I think so.
He's staying with his family here or something like that, so yes.
That's right.
I think so, and both of these people are well documented that the storm destroyed their home.
Everything.
And I think it's the right thing to do under this emergency situation that we're under with Hurricane Michael. And we're not the only ones that's had to do this. They've done it in Gulf County. They've done it in Bay County. FEMA's come in and set up whole trailer parks. And we're not that devastated, but these 2 individuals need help, and it's directly affected by Hurricane Michael. And on that account, I'll so move to make a motion to approve this.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Item 8, and I'm trying not to be specific here as best as I can. Commissioner Massachusetts County staff has received multiple complaints about the condition of a lot on Oak Street in Lanark Village. Due to the type of complaints received by the staff, an inspection request was sent to the health department. Commissioner Massey reached out to the family and found out that they suffered a series of health and other issues, one after the other. Based on the health department's report, other information, and the potential effect the condition of this property could have in surrounding properties, I recommend we place a dumpster in the county's right-of-way in front of the offending property to give the family members an opportunity to clean up this property. Other family members have assured Commissioner Massey that they will clean up the property. And without getting too specific, Commissioners, it is a very bad situation that could affect the surrounding homeowners. A really bad situation.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I don't have any problem with this, try to help people straighten up their properties, which could affect their neighbors. What I would like to say, though, is we don't need to place a dumpster out there for 45 or 50 days. We need to find out when the action can be taken and get solid waste to help out on this. And if they're going to do it over a weekend, put it there on a Friday, pick it up on a Monday or something like that. We just don't need a dumpster out there, because what's going to happen is
Everybody else
is going to throw all their stuff in there, and they still ain't going to get the property cleaned up. You understand what I'm saying,
yeah.
Commissioner Massey? So if you could coordinate when they want this, and don't take it today and leave it out there for 3 months or whatever. We need to know when the other family members are willing to help, and put it out there like on a Friday, and then finally them can pick it up on a Monday, because we don't really have dumpsters to sit everywhere, and they use these things for recycling and other things. So it really needs to be coordinated as to when
I
it's
tried to
placed.
coordinate it. I told them that we'd put it there that day, and 2 or 3 days it'd be picked up.
Okay,
They probably need a couple more after that. It's gonna take a couple, 3 dumpsters to get
Or
it clean.
just coordinate this with
Yeah.
solid waste and.
Yeah, I afraid I come with y'all on it. Mr. Burke knows where it's at, but this is the only way we're gonna get it clean.
I'll make a motion to move forward.
And if we would follow Attorney Schuler, see, this is actually a health and safety emergency, if we could put that in the record too, sir, based on our health department report, so,
Okay.
I'll amend my motion to reflect those comments.
yes, sir.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
All right, Commissioner, so we did items 9 and 10 already, so we can skip over to 11. County staff is ready to proceed with FDOT award SCOP for the survey, design, permitting, and preparation of construction plans and bid documents to widen and resurface County Road 38 from US 98 to 13 Mile Road. The estimated maximum cost of the project is $343,174. Board action to authorize the chairman's signature under resolution of authorization and the FDOT state-funded grant agreement for this project.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
As a side note, construction funding will be available in 2022, once this work is done.
Yeah, we know it's down the road, but
Yeah.
we gotta start somewhere.
Okay, now, item number 12, Williams Communication received a complaint from Fire Chief Hartsfield that there were problems with the Alligator Point St. Teresa Fire Net Control Point. Authorized Williams Communication to troubleshoot the problem, and their technician determined that the lack of climate control at the site is causing the equipment to go into low power mode, and the VHF radio is experiencing RF interference. Since the county's FCC license has been approved, Williams Communication will work with Ms. Brannon at the Sheriff's Office on filing an interference complaint to stop the RF interference. I recommend that Alligator Point St. Teresa Fire Department install a HVAC unit in the building where equipment is located to address the low power mode issue.
So move.
Excuse me. Pam Burnell donated an air conditioner just a little while ago that I'll get over to the fire department, and that will solve that issue.
Okay, the board action is for something totally different, though.
Your board action is authorize the payment of the invoice for troubleshooting the system. That's all I need.
So move.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I
sir.
have someone
Go
want
ahead.
to ask. Michael, just a point of clarification, not necessarily about this, but about how we're proceeding with fire departments and Williams Communication. Shouldn't the complaint have come to you and you or someone else, and how we did with
Yes.
East Point Fire Department?
Yeah, that's what happened. The fire chief complained to Williams. Williams forwarded it to me, and then I dealt with it and told him, okay, this is it. So yes, it is following that procedure, sir.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Not as direct as you wanted to, but it got there.
Well, as
Yeah.
long as everybody's on the same playing field,
Yes.
that's the only reason I'm
Yeah.
asking.
And if this was about their handhelds or their radios, that would have been your bill. That would have been their bill.
Okay. Thank you.
I got a motion second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Item 13, board action to ratify the chairman's signature on 2 letters of support. Both letters were for grants with May 31st deadlines. Only one motion is needed for both letters. The first letter was the support is for the city of Carabel, the 2020-2021 small matching grant application for funds of Phase 6 renovation project to the, and is this right, Commissioner Massey, Justice Building, which is the old City Hall?
Yeah.
The board has sent similar letters of support for previous phases of the project. The second one is a letter of support for the Carabel Lighthouse Association. That's for 2021 special category $100,000 grant application to preserve, repair, and paint the endangered Crooked River Lighthouse and the Keeper's House Museum in Carabel.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Item 14, on May 23rd, I was informed that there were air conditioning issues at Weems West. If the board recalls, that was the first week of the above 80-degree weather in the county. Based on my calls to the clinic manager and the facility manager, 3 of the 4 HVAC units at Weems were down since Hurricane Michael. I immediately directed the facilities manager to get 3 proposals from local HVAC contractors to replace the 3 units. Based on the proposals received, GW Services was selected to replace the 3 units, which they installed and had online by Friday, May 30th. Board action declared the purchase of the 3 HV units an emergency from wording that right, Attorney Schuler, based on the rising heat index, waive the advertising requirement of the county's bid policy, and ratify my action and authorize the payment of the $14,000 invoice to GW Services from the Healthcare Trust Fund.
Yes.
Got that right?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Item 15, at the Thursday, May 30th, Weems Board of Directors meeting, a narrative, which I attached to this report, from the architect for the new facility project was discussed. This narrative included a new estimated total project cost of $17 million. This amount includes items from 2 lists. First list are items that were previously deleted but is now included in the project. The second list includes items that are new to the project. Some of the items on both lists might be mandatory, as others are optional. I was directed by the chairman at the last meeting to have the CEO, Mr. Cannington, here today to present the estimated total project cost so the board could start negotiating a contract. However, I am fully aware that $17 million is not an amount this board is willing to proceed with. Commissioners, we're at a point where I feel the board needs an advocate. Your project manager, a special coordinator, we'll get on the title later, who has the necessary experience that could bring the project into budget, follow your directives, and provide all of the necessary information needed for you to make necessary decisions prior to and during the project. I have a recommendation. Ms. Nicole Sheppy, her resume is attached, the current facilities manager at Weems Memorial. Ms. Sheppy would remain at Weems, but will be appointed as a project manager for the new facility and will report to this board at each meeting if necessary on the status and the progression of the project. Ms. Sheppy is here today to address any questions or concerns you may have. Let me be very clear what I'm asking for is for you to consider this matter, which then would allow me to do a few things. I would have to, of course, verify her resume. I'd have to check with USDA and see if she qualifies in the position we want to put her in, or see what she needs to get that done. And there's some other things we have to figure out. But if you're not interested, fine, we stop right here, we move on. If you are, then you give me that authority to proceed and then report back to you at the next meeting. That's where we are, Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Real quick, Mike, is the current chairman of the board in favor of this, as it is in his district?
Yes, I'm sorry, Commissioner Lockley met with Ms. Sheppy on Friday. He went with me yesterday for quite a few hours on both days, and yes, he is in favor of proceeding with this to verify and see if this would work.
Another question. I understand that she's the plant manager.
Your facilities manager, yeah, same difference, yes, sir.
Facilities manager,
Yes.
she'll continue to do that, continue to be paid by the Weems Hospital.
That's what this
as
board
she is
directs.
currently.
That's what this board directs, yes.
Absolutely. I've had questions about, well, y'all gonna make her a county employee, and what about the rest of us? No, that's not the case.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct. That's not my intention. Yes, correct.
She's gonna continue doing the job that she's been doing,
Yep.
and she's gonna be informing us of different things that, to get the project back in line with what the board has previously approved.
Yes, that's my intention.
Get the numbers back to where they were.
Yes.
And-
We're a reasonable number.
Yeah, I mean,
we can't go back to 10 million, and this board knows that, but
But
we
we ain't
can't,
going
we
to
cannot go to
17
17.
No,
I'm sorry, that's
absolutely
just not
not.
gonna work.
Okay, those are some of the questions I had, because I want to make sure Commissioner Lockley is fine with this, because this is
Yes.
in his district.
He is.
And make sure he's fine with that. I don't know how the rest of the board feel. That was my questions, though.
I have a question too. Michael, I just want to make sure when we start to look at this, that should we proceed and go forward, we need to make sure that we're not going to run into any problems with her having dual roles, or, I mean, we just need to be concrete.
Yes.
We might have to make a complete move decision versus being able to do both. I just want to make sure we at least
Yes.
look at that, you know what I mean?
If you're saying, I understand she can't serve two masters, I guess.
Well, it's
what
gonna
you're
be
trying
very
to say
complicated,
in a nice
that's
way.
what
So
I'm saying.
what you're trying to say, you know, her, even though she's an employee of Weems, until this project is completed, her, basically who she answers to is like a reassignment, a temporary reassignment. Is that's what that's my intention. So if that's what you're heading for,
Yep.
yeah, then we're on the same page.
Yep. Okay.
But her role will continue, Mr.
As-
Chairman,
as-
I'm sorry. Her role will continue to maintain the facilities.
Oh, yes. We have a roof, a new roof that we're getting ready to put on the current building.
Right.
So she needs to stay on that project. I mean, that she could report to this board directly too. I mean, you know.
Well, we got to put the roof back on. If you don't, it's insurance fraud. They give you money to complete a project, and you take that money and allocate it somewhere else.
Actually,
you can't do that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Aaron, it's worse than that. If we don't put on the roof, they're not gonna cover us. That's correct. That's basically, they're gonna say, okay, you're on your own.
That's the way it is with flood insurance or anything else. They
Yeah.
give you X amount of dollars to repair somebody's damage, and you don't do it. Worst case scenario is if you have another flood, they're not gonna cover it because they already gave you money one time, you didn't spend it in the right place.
Yeah.
But it could get worse than that. You know, if you don't use the money to what the money was
Actually, Chairman, with the Florida League of Cities with our coverage, they actually handle the front-end funding for the projects, actually on the front side. So we don't even have to do the capital outlay, paying the vendors to do the roof repairs. We're only going to be responsible for the insurance deductible, which will most likely come from the Healthcare Trust Fund. And then that's actually eligible for FEMA reimbursement because it's they will assist with insurance deductibles.
Okay, we need to move forward with that.
Oh, yeah.
So we got some things we need to move forward
That's
with.
it, yes. And so, again, getting back to Commissioner Jones, yes, maybe it's just a reassignment of, once we get past all these projects, but while we're here, this is who she reports to and how she handles that, you know. That's where I'm heading. Again, I'm asking you guys to give me authority to pursue this possibility. We work out all the differences and we present it at the next meeting to you, see if you agree to it. That's what I'm
Motion to
looking for.
proceed.
And, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to be sure that Ms. Nicole has a very specific scope of duties
Yes.
and description, so we know what, that we're divided. I know she has multiple hats here, to use the term, but there are two primary roles that she has, and I want to be sure that that we're all clear, and she is too, in fairness to her, that clear scope of work.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure. Again, it'll be presented at the next meeting for your approval, review and approval.
I'll make a second to read the
Okay,
motion.
have a motion second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item number 16. At a recent meeting, Ms. Mel Kelly spoke during public comments, and one of her requests was the county to consider the automatic door opener at this building's entrance to assist with any required ADA access. I checked with court administration and was told that the automatic door was not an ADA requirement. What is required for ADA access is a specific amount of pressure on the push doors. So installation of that automatic door opener would be a cost to the county, not the court. Based on prior projects, the trial marshal estimates that it would cost approximately $3,000 to $5,000 to install the automatic door opener. Is the board interested in seeking quotes for this project? And Commissioner Parrish, I will say this to you, the chairman is not in favor of this at this time. In July, the actual court administration is coming down here. The second meeting in July, the date escapes me right now. They're going to be here to make a presentation of all the security updates. It's done then. And that probably would be a more appropriate time to discuss with them as part of a future security update or not, because we're about to put a barrier in front of the deputy right out there, bullet resistance on the windows. So there's a lot going on you're going to see here within the next couple of months. That's how the chairman felt about it. Well, Commissioner Locklear, excuse me, sir.
I'll make a motion to table this item at this time.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
All right, so two more. Inform the board that the recreational season for red snapper in Gulf State and federal waters opens on June 11th and runs through July 12th. And I'm going to quote from the FWC website: "This season is for those fishing from private recreational vessels and those fishing from charter boats that don't have a federal reef fish permit." You want to be clear about that. Charter boats without a federal reef fish permit are restricted to fishing in state waters only. If you need more information, please feel free to go to myfwc.com. Finally, remind the board that the Florida Association of Counties 2019 Annual Conference and Educational Exposition starts on Tuesday, June 11th, and ends on Friday, June 14th. And Commissioners, those signs that, I'm going to look into that situation that Shannon talked about earlier, the boat ramps, you know, because we have an ordinance, and there was signage, but if we need new signage, you know, I'll get that done. I'll work with FWC also on letting them know, you know, we have an ordinance, and I'll send it to them so they're aware of it, so they can enforce that thing. And Commissioner, that's all I have.
That's all you have?
For y'all.
Yes, sir.
Mike, while you're up here, when we gonna do something with the guardrail at the cemetery? I know you sent us out documents where,
They just sent, oh, go ahead.
We did receive the payment actually from the person who damaged the guardrail, and then we've also sent the 50% deposit over to Monumental Fabrication in Port St. Joe. So they should be fabricating the rail, and it should be up relatively soon. We won't pay that other 50% balance till it's there.
well, we get it fixed, probably next month, somebody else will hit it, but anyway. People keep asking me when it's gonna get fixed. I mean, it's the north side, it's a, you know,
It's almost like it has a magnet.
yeah,
Yeah.
they just.
I'll say this, you know, I live there, so let me tell you, when I'm you know, guys, you guys will see me walking, my grandson, he's riding his bike and I'm behind him. That's the turnaround point. When we get to the turnaround, let's go back.
It may not quite go to that point, because he may be in harm's way. What is this, the fifth time somebody's hit that thing?
Yeah.
Fourth or fifth?
What, 3 or 4 times? How much since you've been working there?
You know,
God.
I'm sure 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking,
Yeah.
4 to 5 times somebody's hit this thing.
Yeah.
Big old sign saying a curve here.
Yeah.
Anyways, people were asking me, so I figured I would ask for where we were at
Yes, sir.
with that. I know you sent us out the estimate and all that,
We finally got the check and, we're sending a deposit.
but, okay. Moving forward.
Wow, Pierce will be proud of me, Attorney Schuler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Got it?
5
You
pages.
through?
Yes, sir, I'm through.
All right, thank you. The next will be the attorney, Mr. Schuler.
Commissioners, I'm requesting your approval to move forward on investigating what appears to be some personal property abandoned on the public right-of-way south of the airport. Commissioner Parrish has asked me to look into this matter, but I wanted board authority to move forward. So that is my first action item here this morning.
Let me, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Let me reiterate, I got calls from constituents that live in this neighborhood, and I got the attorney in the truck and rode him out there and showed him what we were facing. So it's not me raising sand, it's a reaction to constituents' complaints of abandoned vehicles all over the right of way. And some of them are parked on the asphalt, which is obviously county right of way. So I'll make a motion to direct the attorney to move forward with that.
And just so the board is clear before you vote, if in fact it's determined that this property is abandoned, then I'm going to go to the sheriff's department and ask that the property be red tagged and moved. But first, I'm going to try and locate the property owner and give them a reasonable period of time to move it themselves. Okay.
All right, have a motion second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Second item is requesting board approval for myself to travel to the Canvassing Board Conference that's going to occur in October in Orlando. That's basically 2 days travel time for that one-day conference. Travel down there, attend the conference, and drive back the next day.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
I have
sir.
a question before we proceed.
Yes, sir.
We've changed chairmans since the last time we had a canvassing board. Is there at some point we should be, if we're choosing to reauthorizing who the alternate is on the canvassing board? When would that come up again?
Usually your supervisor of elections will come to us and
Okay.
ask that to be done. Right now, presently, it was you as the alternate, and then it was, I think it was Commissioner Massey was the chairman at that time, was he not in the last
No,
one?
I was serving in Smokey's place because he was
Oh.
the chairman and he was running.
Okay. Well, if the board wants to act now, I mean, you certainly can, but I would suggest waiting until the supervisor
Okay, we
comes
can
in and
wait for
asks for a
supervisor. It's not a
replacement.
problem.
Okay, my last action item is there appears to be an issue regarding how the T-hangers are being billed and the income received from T-hanger rentals. That was brought to my attention last week by a private constituent in the county. Essentially, this person contacted FDOT, and according to him, was told that if you build T-hangers with grant funds, then basically the county government is supposed to bill and collect for the T-hanger rent. And apparently there was some statement that maybe our grant funding in the future was going to be declared ineligible if we did not look at this issue. So my request is for the board to consider appointing someone to investigate this issue, see if in fact this is a correct statement, and if we need to take action, let this person come back to the board and report to you. My suggestion to you, my recommendation would be the airport manager. I think they would be the best person to do that, but just board decision on that issue.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Is Centric not operating on behalf of Franklin County?
They are, and according to Mr. Puckett, he has already in the past communicated and had meetings with FDOT. He apparently had to go through the Chipley office, bypass them and go directly to the state, is the way I understood the conversation, and that the state has reluctantly, maybe my word, not Jason's, but the state has looked at this matter and decided that they would accept Centric billing directly and collecting the income, because they're not taking this money off of the airport property. They're actually using the income to do maintenance and grass cutting and things of that nature, but I just thought I would bring it to the board's attention.
So you want us to recommend, make a recommendation for Puckett to do this, our airport manager?
I think, yes, sir, I believe that's.
Or should you be involved?
How about both of us?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I got a motion second. Don't you have something to say?
No, sir.
On the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Yes, sir. I have a number of informational items and a litigation update for the board. Do y'all have any questions for me on any of those items? Well, that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
That got yours? Okay. Commissioner comments? Any commissioner comments?
Just some thoughts. Are we at a point, as we consider Weems Hospital, that we should be considering advocating for 2 or 3 public meetings for input on what the future of this facility should look like? And I just needed some discussion and some thoughts on that.
If I may, yes, sir. Actually, the Weems Board of Directors and the CEO, once we got the price and we know what we're moving forward with, that's when we're going to schedule the public hearings all across the county. That was the plan.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
But you're saying until we get a finite price and not no $17 million,
Yeah.
after that, then we will conduct these public hearings?
Yes,
It makes sense to me.
because what are you going to have a public hearing about if you don't know how much you're paying and what you're going to, exactly what you're going to bill?
Just one more thing.
Yes, sir.
One more item. I'm hearing a lot about the need for, I guess, repair and refurbishment of our boat ramps here in the county. We've seen many different subjects on this, from sediment filled in to broken pieces to misuse, parking issues, and so on. Should we be looking at a plan for looking at our entire boat ramp situation? We have an aquaculture industry that's using high demand in that area, competing with fishermen, and we've seen probably the good standard of practice at the Buddy Ward boat ramp that was just newly improved and built. Should we be thinking about a plan to work with the Game Commission to facilitate funding and looking forward to helping our boat ramps?
Yeah, because what we basically do, Commissioners, Mark will come to you through me and say, okay, so it's a cycle for the boat ramp improvement funding. And then you guys will sit down and figure out which boat ramp needs, which one qualifies, and from that group, which one is to use highest priority, which one needs the most repair.
Good.
And that's how we usually move forward.
And we'll know when the cycle happens.
Yes, sir. I would recommend you sit with Mark, Commissioner, and say to him, okay, Mark, this is how I feel about these boat ramps. And then he knows, exactly which one you specifically want to deal with. He'll let you know right away, sir, if it'll qualify or not for that funding. And then if not, then you go to the next boat ramp that you think is important. So.
And Commissioner Bolt, just in the 2 years since I've been a commissioner, we're able to do something at Indian Creek and East Point, and we're under the design phase of redoing the old ferry dock ramp, which is a heavily used ramp, especially by the commercial side of the industry.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
so it's not, doesn't move as fast as we want it to, but it is moving.
But the planning is good, Commissioner Bolt. Planning is good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I got one item here, Mike, that we passed earlier.
Yes, sir.
That concerned the road from 98 down to 13 Mile Road. Clay, you might want to listen in on this. It'd be nice if we went from 98 to the Gulf County line, because the Gulf County side has already been done to the Gulf County line, correct? And why would we stop at 13 Mile when a couple more miles, that whole road from Port St. Joe to Highway 98 would be done and widened? And I don't know if that grant will allow us to do that, or we can try to amend that grant. But going from 98 to 13 Mile Road, 2 more miles, we'd be at the Gulf County line, and the whole road would be redone.
Yes, sir. Clay Kennedy with Dewberry. And that 2 miles is already under our design. We already have that contract.
Okay.
For some reason, DOT split that up into two separate.
But when we get through that whole road, C30 will be done.
That's the way I understand it.
That's
I wasn't in here when y'all discussed that, but that's the way I understand it.
Okay. So that's already been taken care of.
Yeah.
And I'll verify with Mark, Commissioner, to make sure.
Okay,
because it's-
okay, that's,
yeah.
I just want to make sure, I mean, that whole C-30 now will be done and be good for Gulf and Franklin to have the
Yes, sir.
whole road done, because people travel from Cape Sandblast to Appalachia, or 13 mile back to Gulf County, so.
Right, right.
And
And
good.
Clay, tell them, do not put those reflectors in the middle of the road that just, those.
Well put, I like that.
Any more,
No, and please explain it just exactly as the commissioner just did. Yeah.
I've hit them a few times.
Oh.
One more thing.
go ahead.
Do we have a plan of care for looking to recruit a new library director? Do we have that?
Yes, we do. Actually, I have a meeting that I have not verified what time tomorrow with Kate.
Okay, good.
But yeah, she's going to give me an update as to where we are.
Okay.
Actually, the ad is on the website. It should be in tomorrow, Thursday's newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we're going to meet with Kate. I'm going to walk right back there right now and
Good deal.
set up a time.
Any more commissioner comments? Any more commissioner comments? Meeting adjourned.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.